There's not a single person that I know that does not want better relationships. But people get so caught up in what they have going on that they lose sight of the most important and easiest tactic to having better relationships across the board. What is that? What is that? Why? Why do we get so wrapped up in ourselves that we can't see what's going on? Here it is. This is it. To have better relationships, be it family, at work, romantic relationships, or even a relationship with yourself to an extent, you have to become a much better listener. You have to become an active listener, and you have to think before you speak. All too frequently, people let this get away from them. You get caught up in a conversation, and you're so concentrated on what you have to say, the thing that you're preparing to say as they're still talking. We do this. Think about this next time you're in a conversation. We get so caught up in what we're going to say, what we're about to say, that we don't have time or the mental resources, the cognition, to receive first what they're saying. So we end up having, in a two-person conversation, a one-sided conversation. The remedy is to completely wipe out your mind. Have no thoughts of your own while they're speaking. It's what we learned back in elementary school. It goes back to just simply being an active listener. This is where relationships improve across the board. In your romantic relationship, I get this all the time because I do relationship coaching as well. I get this all the time. He doesn't listen to me, right? Or she doesn't pay attention to what I need or what I say. That's because it looks like you're not paying attention. Have you ever been looking at somebody and you get that glossed over, like I'm not paying attention because I'm just focusing on what I'm trying to say and get done in the relationship kind of look? That's real. And that sucks. Don't be one of those people, all right? It takes a very active focus to deliberately listen to what someone else is saying. If you can't do this without writing something down, then trust me, people would appreciate it. Simply start writing notes when they're talking and explain it. Don't do it without saying what you're doing. But if you have a hard time focusing on what someone is saying because of your attention span, or maybe you have ADD or ADHD, then just simply write it down. This gets your mind off of trying to focus on what they're saying, and it just actually writes down the facts. What are they actually saying? How are they saying it? And then when they're done, kind of reiterate, okay, so this is what's going on in your life. This is what's happening. This is what you need kind of attention on, and then speak to that point. You'll see that immediately, the second you start understanding where someone is coming from, you become an active listener, you actually start silencing yourself while someone else is speaking, you'll see that they, trust you more as a confidant. They'll want to speak to you. They'll want to give you all of the emotion that they have in them, because they'll then trust you. And that's where true connectivity comes from. You know, we talk about on this channel, we talk about connecting with people. There's no better connection than listening to what somebody has to say. People need to be feeling like they're heard, like they're not wasting their breath. You'll build better relationships across the board once people start seeing that you're paying attention to their wants, their needs, their desires. What they're saying says all of that. When they're talking to you, they're saying, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I desire. Take it seriously. Don't think that anybody's talking just to talk. And if they are, they'll see that you're at least listening, and they'll want to convey a better message because they know that you're listening. There's nothing worse than when you go to a party and you're meeting someone for the first time. When, by the way, impressions are very important. This is when the first impression is being made. There's nothing worse than going to that party, having this first impression, and what you're getting from the person as you're explaining your name, as you're explaining what you do for a living, they're just like this. And they're thinking in their head, what am I going to say? What am I going to say next? You'll find that when you become an active listener, people have a lot more to say than you ever thought. Let them talk. The greatest minds in the world don't rush to say what they have to say. They're more interested in what other people have. You need to become genuinely more interested in what other people have to offer, and you will become an overnight success with the people that you interact with. You will become the person who listens better, who reacts better, who responds better, who gives better advice, who helps people through their situations, because you'll all of a sudden see that you can help these people because you're now listening to what they're saying. Kind of a high-level overview of how to become a better listener. But if you want to talk more on that, inbox me. Feel free to start a discussion below and just kind of take the reins on this. I want to see what you guys have to say when it comes to being a better listener, or how to better your relationships as a result of that. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe to connect, motivate, and inspire each other as we develop together. Please leave a comment below to spark conversation, and if you have any suggestions for a future empowerment project video, send me a message. I do value your input, and I really love to hear from you. Till next time, have an inspired day, and I'll see you soon.